All right. I asked Nick Sorensen this question today, and I want to get your thoughts.
Yeah.
And I, thought he would give me a better answer, but
he's been kind of cagey, hasn't he?
Yeah, I mean, it's just like, but I mean, it's like, I don't know if he didn't see me working here or if he just tried to avoid it. I can't really tell if this is cluelessness or really skillful sidestepping, but here we go. Here it is. And I'm asking about Devondre Campbell, who I don't really care for.
On a personal level, because I think we've all seen the tape and agree.
Yeah, here we go.
There's been 42 missed tackles in the last 3 weeks. And Campbell's missed, I think, 8 or 9 of them. Mm-hmm. Obviously, you're going with him. Why is he a better option than Winters or Graham?
We like both of them. I mean, they've both been getting snaps. Talking about D and Devondre, he's got so much experience. He brings a calmness. He understands the scheme, and he's been doing a really good job. And we've also been rotating D in there as well. So just like both of them.
Yeah.
Okay, so the doing a really good job. Can we maybe drill home a little bit on that? Because I guess there's different definitions for doing a really good job. Here's what he's doing. Here's what he's doing. And then you can tell me if it's a really good job.
Yeah.
He's allowing a 115.6 passer rating when targeted. That's the 18th worst of any linebacker in the NFL. It's missed
stunning. It's only 18th.
Yeah, I know. He's missed 8 tackles.
Mm-hmm.
He has a 19%, 19%, what is that? It's 4th worst. I guess it's a reception rate or something like that. I can't read that. 19%. Anyway, he's fourth most.
Yeah.
He's got the 3rd worst tackle grade, according to PFF, in the entire league.
That's right.
He's allowing a reception percentage of 89.3%, which is 10th worst.
It's 19%. He misses 19% of the tackles he's attempted this year.
But he's also, when you're going against him, you're completing almost 90%.
Yes.
90%, 89.3% success
25
ratio.
of 28.
Yeah. So, his missed tackle percentage or missed tackle rate is 19%,
right,
which is fourth most in the entire NFL. So, I mean, I'm seeing him isolated against DK Metcalf, giving up big plays. I also saw Kyler Murray run by him. He has no seemingly lateral agility. And then the thing that really bugs me about this more than anything is that I know what's going to happen here.
Yes.
This guy is going to continue to play the way he's playing. Eventually, they're going to give in when other people besides myself start complaining. And then they're going to put in Graham. And Graham's going to play great.
They'll put in Winters. They're going
to put in Winters first, but eventually they're going to get to Graham. Yeah. And Winters and Graham are going to play better than Campbell. And the question's going to be, why did you not go to Winters and Graham earlier? Now, I know Graham's going to miss some tackles, but Graham's also going to make a lot of plays. Yeah. He's going to miss a play here and there. But Campbell right now has lost his lateral agility. The game is about, I mean, I want Greenlaw, and they badly missed Greenlaw. But Greenlaw was super fast and also super, aggressive and ferocious.
He had the juice.
That ferocity is not going to be, that's unique to him. But that speed and that closing ability, you can replicate that with Winters or with Graham. They're just going with the slower guy because they're trying to justify their free agent signing in the offseason. And I got to call it out for what it is, and I can't watch it anymore. Now, he says we like them both, but I guarantee you, I had a buddy call me this week who works in the NFL. He's like, Krug, he's like, Chiefs are going to beat the Niners again. You know that, right? And I'm like, I don't want to hear that, but tell me why you think so. And he's like, oh, Reed's going to absolutely crucify Campbell. He's just going to isolate Campbell in space, and he's going to throw all kinds of balls on Campbell. They're going to force Campbell right off the field. I said, you're right. You're absolutely right. And I hung up the phone. I was pissed, but he's right.
I told you this was going to happen, Larry.
why are they so wed to Campbell? Is it literally about the free? Is it like Oliver and last year? It's like, oh, we can't go to Ambry until Oliver just falls on his face, and then they went to Ambry, and Ambry was better.
Well, I think there's a couple of factors here. One, Jalen Graham wasn't on the team until last week. Two, D. Winters hasn't been awesome either. Now, D. Winters does bring that juice and plays like a lunatic, man, which this defense sorely needs, but he finds himself out of position often. He misses a lot of tackles because he doesn't actually tackle. He just torpedoes into people shoulder first if he's lucky. And Demetrius Flanagan-Fowles has been arguably the only linebacker worse, not just on the Niners, but maybe in the NFL this season when he's gotten his spots. So they are so bereft of depth at linebacker. And now let's also add in this. You have a first-year defensive coordinator. What is he going to value when you think about, hey, I'm trying to put in my scheme. He's going to value guys who can be in what he thinks are the right spot, who can execute the play as it's drawn up. The problem is that's not how defense works. If you want to be old and slow somewhere, be old and slow on offense where you have the tactical advantage and you can be schemed. You want to be young and fast and kind of stupid on defense. Not everyone could be Fred Warner. Not everyone could be Nick Bosa. You want to have that twitch that Devondre Campbell hasn't had in 3 years. Let's not forget this was a guy who was signed after Eric Hendricks said, "Nah, I'm good. I'm going to go play with Mike Zimmer because he'll make me old Mike linebacker for the Cowboys." By the way, working out great for everybody. They're doing awesome. Good job, everybody. But this was just the guy who was hanging around, and you go, well, he was once a great player. He was once a great player. Then time took its toll, and his lack of mobility was wildly present in training camp. I saw it on the film going in, and I go, well, sometimes Fountain of Youth, California, you never know. Sometimes guys find that extra gear. Hey, last chance. Had a great offseason, feeling fast, feeling spry, worked through some injuries. We're back. I got one last great year in me. It was evident 3 days into training camp that was not the case for Devondre Campbell. And we saw it again and again in preseason even when they were playing him, that even if he did make the tackle, he was catching guys from behind at the linebacker position and pulling them down by the back of their jerseys. And it was just, might as well have put a giant arrow, Madden style, above his head and said, "Attack me." And the fact of the matter is, if they had anyone that they fully trusted, even if they kind of suck, they would have played him over Devondre. I don't think they're beholden to the free agency thing. I don't. I think that they don't feel that they have good options because they can't trust D. Winters because D. Winters doesn't know what he's doing out there yet. But at least he has the juice. And at this point, that's you got to have that because Devondre Campbell is a active detriment to you on defense. And it'd be one thing if he was stopping the run. He's not. And he is. What did Sean McVay do when they needed to move the ball late in that game? They called up the attack 59 play with Cody Parkinson. And they might as well have started walking down the field for the 20-something yards that Parkinson got him for to set up that late field goal. They might have started walking down the field before the ball was thrown because they knew Campbell wasn't turning his head around because they know he can't, that he's 5 steps behind on everything. It was omnipresent early in training camp. It was clear as day on his film. And the fact of the matter is he hasn't even been burned to the degree he will be burned going forward. Andy Reid is 32-6 coming off of bye weeks, including playoffs and Super Bowls in his career as a head coach. Your friend wasn't kidding. Your friend, honestly, it sounded fun and insightful. It's the most obvious thing in the flipping world that Devondre Campbell is going to get put in the blender in this game. And I honestly don't want to put it even on Sorensen. Put it on Kyle, whose entire offensive career has been about ruining linebackers' lives. His entire goal in the offense is to make bad linebackers look like assholes. And he has one who looks like a complete asshole out there. Nothing against him personally. Seems like a nice guy. But this guy is just embarrassing his legacy, embarrassing the defense. They don't need to run any plays other than, where's 59? Let's do something to fuck him up. The fact that Kyle Shanahan hasn't stepped in and said, we can't live like this anymore. We got to do something. Throw in Winters. I don't care if Winters doesn't know what he's doing. At least he brings some energy to a defense, which is something that this defense, frankly, needs. Now, luckily, Malik Mustafa has brought that too, and it's bringing, they got some youth. Renardo Green's brought it. You got a little bit of youth. They got a little bit of verve. They got a little bit of life. And that makes Nick Sorensen's life harder because they're young kids who, frankly, should scare any coach because they don't know what they're doing out there. But at least they're going out there and hitting dudes and playing fast and giving this defense some life to it. That's what makes a great defense, has both the tactical expertise and energy. They know where they're supposed to be, and when they attack as if they are trying to extract the soul from someone's body. This defense might know where it needs to be. It has none of that juice. And bringing in some young guys, you're going to have to sacrifice a little bit on the former. I think you gain a lot more on the latter. And frankly, Sorensen's answer...
Go young. Devondre Campbell's not going to be faster next week than he was last week.
No, Mini-Buy ain't fixing Devondre Campbell. And
seriously.
I don't know about Graham. I'm not the biggest Graham guy. You're
Graham's
a big
a hell of
Graham
a player. Graham's going to be a hell of a player, man. Graham was good at Purdue. Really good. And it's like, you know what? Graham has the possibility, if you play him, to have 10 or 12 tackles.
Yeah.
He can fly around and make plays. I need to see Graham fail one time before I see Campbell fail 12 more times.
But it's
no
over.
More Campbell.
I agree with you.
Absolutely ridiculous.
It's been laughable.
It's too much. It's like, come on. And they're picking on him. It's obvious. The numbers are all there. He's playing really well. Nick, he's not playing really well. Come on.
He's probably great in a meeting room. I'll give him that because he's seen everything and done everything. But it doesn't matter how fast your mind is if your body cannot manifest what your mind is going. It does not matter if you and I can see the game clearly. We go out there, we die. It doesn't
I'll make
matter.
the prediction right now. They're going to eventually, I don't know if it'll be this week, eventually they're going to go away from Campbell.
Yeah.
And they're going to go to Winters.
Yeah.
And they're going to go to Graham at some point.
I think
and those guys are going to play really, really well. And guess what's going to happen? Everybody's going to be so happy that they're playing well that nobody's going to mention that where the fuck were these two guys?
Larry.
Nobody's going to say that. Nobody.
Larry, every single week I do a studs and duds column off of the game. And I am not kidding. It's almost feeling personally vindictive. Every single week I've had Devondre Campbell in the duds. Every single week this season. Because every week he has done something, not just one thing, multiple things that are so obvious and plain to me in the press box or me watching on TV, to me, a peon, a lay person, that it's like, we can't live like this anymore.
It's office space. What would you say you do here?
That's right.
But
he's really good in the meeting room. He knows where he should be. He just can't get there.
He's playing. I'll say this. Devondre is playing really well. All those numbers, those are all lies made up by statistical people that created stats that he would do poorly and to try to bounce him out of this league. He's really, I don't care what those numbers. Come on.
The point that you made is the most apt. If you were to build a game plan to beat the San Francisco 49ers, first off, you have many options these days. You can go on the vertical routes on the outside. You can attack the safeties. Jair Brown has been a favorite of opposing offensive coordinators this year. You could run it right up the goddamn middle. You could make Leonard Floyd look like a fool again and again and force the Niners to go to Sam O, who has actually been able to set an edge for this team. But where are they going to go first? To the guy who's next to Fred Warner. And they're just going to run it to his side. And anytime you get to the line of scrimmage and you go, okay, Fred's in the A gap and Campbell's in the B or the C gap, you know what? I don't think we're going to run inside zone on this play. I think we're going to do an outside zone, and we're going to get the second level guy right up to 59. And I think that's going to be about 12, 15 yards, right?
Well, football fans pay attention. When the game starts, that first series, the guys they attack are the guys that they feel best about.
That's what they thought about all week. They
thought about it all week. Now they got an opportunity. They're going at the guys they think they can beat. And guess who they went at with DK Metcalf in the Seattle game? Devondre Campbell. Guess who Kyler ran at? Devondre Campbell.
Yep.
Come on, Nick.